Good morning. It's Friday. Yay. So I've gotten the question why I don't do Jesus times on the weekends. It's because, during the week, I get up at 6. I do this around 7 o'clock every day. The reason that I don't do them on the weekends is because my whole family is home, my husband's home, and, you have to take a day off. You can't always be there. If you're always on, Jesus can never pick it up. And, I do these videos to put Jesus first. And the other 2 days, I quietly put him first. We don't have to do, I don't know how to explain it. Hi, Caitlin. Good morning. I don't know how to explain why I don't do them on the weekends. I just don't do them on the weekends because I don't feel like he leads me to do them on the weekends. Not because I take time off from Jesus or anything like that. That's just what it is, okay? Oh, shoot. There was something else I was going to say. I forgot. Oh, well. Forgot. If you are watching this anywhere, please feel free to interact. Please subscribe if it's on YouTube. Like, comment if it's on Facebook, if you find value in it. The reason being, if you don't, then you may not get to see it again. Facebook may not show it to you, whatever it is, right? The algorithms, technology, they decide for us. So if you want to decide for yourself in that aspect, make sure to interact because that's how it knows whether it's important to you or not, okay? My podcast is link in the bio. My YouTube is link in the bio. Okay. All of that out of the way. Today, there's a couple things that I'm really excited to share, and I'll be really honest, guys. I got woken up in the middle of the night last night, and I am dragging today. You know what? And I am trying. Anyways, I gave myself that look in the mirror that said, Kristen, you don't get to have a day off just because you got up in the middle of the night. Like, that doesn't get to happen. So, today I read Psalm 26, part 2. And the thing that really stuck out to me is, I hate an evil assembly. With the wicked I do not sit. And the reason that stood out to me is because a long time ago, somebody always used to tell me that you can't put a good apple in with the bad apple and expect all the other apples to turn good. We have this tendency to say, well, I want to help these people. I want to help them know Jesus. I want to help them see the light. I want to be the one to do that for them. And then we start to hang out with them. And we start to try to help them. But in the process, you see, people don't change for somebody, right? People change for themselves. When they have a reason to change, when Jesus has brought them, God has brought them the reason to change, they will change. Has nothing to do with us. See, I just want you to hear me really loud and clear on that because it is a lesson that I learned very, very, very the hard way. People do not change for any person. People change for themselves. Yeah, you could say it's when they hit rock bottom. You could say it's when they find something in life that is really important to them. Whatever their reason is, that's their reason. And that is when they start to change. That is when maybe they start to grow. That is when maybe they kick the addiction. That is maybe when, they realize that they need to work hard to be better or cleaner or whatever, right? And so people do not change for us. And so when we decide that we want to start hanging out with people who may or may not be in that moment where they're ready to change, probably not in the moment where they're ready to change, but you want to minister to them and you want to tell the gospel to them, then what's more likely going to happen is that part of them is going to seep into you and it's going to start to interfere with your walk with Jesus. And I know that's really hard to hear because you think, well, I'm supposed to help everybody. Yeah, you are. But the way you help people, the way anybody helps anybody in this world is by working on themselves first. Is by walking in their strength, in their power, in their light, in their confidence first. Because if you are walking in your insecurity and your fear, you're going to be pretty much taken over to that side. And even when you think you're in your confidence and your light, if you are constantly hanging out with those who are not, it's going to seep in. I mean, I know you can say to me, no, I'm strong enough, that's not going to happen. But I promise you it will. If they are not ready to change, two things are going to happen. You're going to become really frustrated. They might happen at the same time. They might not. One might happen and the other not. But you're going to become really frustrated and think, why is God not helping these people? And two, it's going to seep into you. And I would like to say that God never doesn't help somebody. It's all about free will on that. When we're talking about this aspect of things, it's all about free will. People have free will to make their own decisions. Okay, God gave us that. And so we cannot interfere with that free will. We can't change it. They have to be willing to do it for themselves. So if you have somebody in your life that you really want change for them, hanging out with them, continuously being with them, staying in their bubble, it's going to affect you. Negativity will affect you. Regardless of whether you think it will or not, it will. I'm just telling you. Like, I'm just being straight out here. Just hear me on this. Negativity will affect you. And you won't be able to really stop it. It'll get harder and harder, especially the more that you hang out with them. You'll find yourself using the same verbiage they do, using the same language they do, having the same thought patterns that they do. And then when you're not around them, you will once again have that same thing happen. You'll start using that verbiage when they're not around you. And you'll be like, oh man, you may or may not see it. That's the thing too. You may or may not see it. It might creep in slowly. See, the thing about this is, guys, having free will and walking your path with Christ has to be protected. Your light has to be protected. When I tell you, or when you hear the words, your circle of friends really matters, it's really big truth. Because anytime you are doing anything in your life, if you have a circle of friends that tells you that you cannot do this, that this is not good for you, even if they're well-meaning and being realistic or whatever it is, that is going to seep into your head. That is going to seep into your heart, especially if it's over and over and over and over and over. And if you are not strong enough on your path with Christ, on your light being shined yet, if you are not strong enough in walking in your fear, it's going to take less time for that to happen. And even if you are strong, it's going to take time, but it'll happen slowly. That is why your circle of friends really, really, really matters. I can't stress that enough. It matters who you speak to every day. And yeah, I know you love the people. I know. I do too. I love them. I don't want to not speak to them. I don't want to keep them at arm's length. But if they are not ready for my dream or their own dream, if they're not ready to encourage and empower and uplift, you cannot be around them. And the same goes for people who are in a dark state. If they are not ready to change for themselves, you cannot minister to them. The only way you can minister to them is by doing what God tells you to do for yourself, by walking your path, by shining your light, by walking through fear, processing the obstacles, by being vulnerable, and even sharing your experience, because you do not know who is watching, and that person who is in a dark state might be watching you. And that is how you might be ministering to them. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that you understand that the circle of people that you put around you can make or break your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, and honestly, your life. It's the truth. Because if you start studying Jesus and you have a circle of friends that does not believe in Jesus, and they will batter you, and they will ask you questions maybe you don't know the answer to. Maybe you don't know how to answer them. Maybe then it piques your interest of, oh, I wonder about that. And you don't go ask. You don't go ask a priest. You don't go ask a pastor. You just sit there and wonder. And then that takes you off of that path. So your light has to be protected, especially in the beginning. Don't look at yourself and say, I'm strong enough to deal with this. Okay? Because in the beginning, in your walk with Christ, it is hard enough to deal with having to ignore what people say about you, let alone putting yourself in a situation where that's going to happen over and over and over again. Walking through that first door is hard enough to ignore. And the path with Christ, the path of reading the Bible, the path of loving Him, the path of being with Him, yes, He gives you that strength. And I'm going to tell you, He is going to say to you, don't do it. You're going to have that inkling. There's that thing in your gut that talks. There's that thing in your heart that tells you, don't do it. Listen. Coming from a person who has ignored it way too many times, please listen. Because He is telling you, this is not where you're meant to be. These are not the people you are meant to change in this capacity. You have to walk your own path. Shine your own light. That is how you minister. And standing with these people, they are going to help you tamp out your light. And then you minister to no one. And look, guys, here's the thing. Like, some people will say to me, so I read the verse, right? I hate an evil assembly. With the wicked I do not sit. And some people will be like, man, that's strong verbiage. My friends aren't evil. They're not wicked. No, they're not. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. But listen, they are not in the headspace. They are not ready to change their lives. They are not ready to walk with Christ the way that you are. And if you are going to accomplish anything, you are going to have to do it with them at arm's length so that you can become strong, can walk your path, and do all of the things. Okay? Don't get hung up on the verbiage. Don't get hung up on the words. Just hear whatever the message is that is coming from this. And so somebody asked me yesterday, they said, you need to title your videos, your Jesus Time videos. You need to title them. And write what you're talking about that day. Well, the thing about it is, first off, here's the thing. I'm not using hooks for these videos. I'm not pulling people into these videos. I'm not trying to make them like clickbait where, oh, that seems interesting. Let me make sure that I click on her videos so she gets views. I'm not doing that. That's not what this is about. I want people to watch these videos because that's what they need. Because they feel led to. Because Jesus puts it in front of them. Excuse me, for whatever reason. And another thing, I do not know what you are going to take from this video. See, I don't know what I'm going to take from the Bible when I open it up. I don't know what's going to come into my head or thoughts or what's going to come even into this video. I have no idea. I have no idea. So if I title my video, then I have to stick to that title, and I'm stuck to that. My video has to be about that. That's how my brain works. Like, if I make a title on something, this is what I got to do. And then I can't think outside the box. I can't follow wherever the path is that Jesus leads, because that's not what the title says. Like, don't restrict myself to that. And so that's why I do not title these videos. And that's one why I do not title these videos, because I don't want to restrict myself. And two, because I'm not hooking people into this. Jesus will use what He will use from this, and everybody will hear something different. And I would honestly appreciate it if you would write what you heard today, what came out of this for you, what laid on your heart for this. You know, they say the things that I say in the morning about talking about subscribing and comments and notifications, or not notifications, interactions. Maybe nobody interacts with the video all day long. That is absolutely fine. All I know is that it's out there for other people. And the more that you share your journey in this, if you are watching these videos and you share what has helped you and how and why and whatever that is, the more that you're going to help somebody else see that they're not alone. And that's why I do these. Okay, number 2, Let's see where I'm at here. All right, number 2. I don't know if I want to do this one, because if I do this one, it might take a little bit longer, and I don't want to, man, I want to give this all of it. Okay. All right. So I want you to understand this sentence. God wants to use all of who you are. Every single piece of it. So what do I mean by that? We work very hard to grow, right? We work very hard to conquer our demons, to conquer our anxiety, to conquer our maybe depression, to conquer our fears, to conquer all of these things. And how do we do that? By doing everything that we're afraid of, right? Doing it afraid. Doing it while we are afraid. But see, God, He wants to use every single part of who you are. Every single part of it. So, if you are anxious in a moment, and yet you do it anyway, in that moment you might feel like that was really stupid, I shouldn't have done that. But you don't know who you inspire to do theirs through your anxiousness. Yesterday I did a video, and I did my Jesus time like normal, and I felt very discombobulated in it, after it, especially. You know how you overthink things. Why did I feel that way during it? Blah, 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 blah. So after it, especially. And I thought, man, I probably need to just delete that one. That's the first time that thought has popped into my head. And there's been many other times just over the years of different things. And I have realized that in the moment where I think I need to delete it, that is the moment where I need to keep it. Even though maybe I was discombobulated, even though maybe it did seem off kilter, even though maybe it went back and forth all over the place and it wasn't as fluid. But it gives the chance for somebody else to see that there is not perfection in everything. That I am just as nervous every single time I get on here as I was the first time. But I'm still doing it. And God is, even though I cannot get rid of that nervousness, I can't make it stop, I still take the breath when I push the button. Even though those things still happen, God uses my nervousness, my parts of being discombobulated, for His good too. Right? See, He doesn't necessarily want you to get rid of the parts of you that He has given you. He just wants to use them to help other people. So He can't do that unless you give everything to Him, unless you give those things to Him, unless you're willing to walk through them with Him. Because guys, your greatest fears, they're going to be on that path that Jesus has laid for you. They're going to be there. If you fear speaking in front of people, if you fear getting on Facebook and doing lives, if you fear these things, they're going to be there and you're going to have to do them. I'm not going to sugarcoat that for you, because nothing worth having is easy. And the path to Christ, man, it is so worth it. You have to work through your obstacles, but you have to give Him everything. You have to give Him your anxiety. You have to give Him your fear. You have to give Him both ends of your straw. And so, there's something that I just want to give you. Listen to this. God used a speaker. No, I'm not going to read that part. No, that's not it. All right. God really can use all of your strengths, weaknesses, imperfections, and challenges. He uses them all to His good, for His good. All of them. The only time that can't happen is when we refuse to give an area of our life to Him, an area of our life to Him. But whatever we place in His hands, He can lovingly make into something useful and even beautiful. Good morning, Mandy. He wants to use every part of you. So, there was a part there that I liked, that I wanted to Oh, it talks about Paul. Okay, right here. The same Paul, okay, the same Paul who ended up writing to the early churches started out being belligerent, overzealous, and an oppressive leader. After Jesus appeared to him, Paul was determined, enthusiastic, and an encouraging leader. Same characteristics used in a different way. See, God grows us. So Paul is at first an ugly kind of leader. He's mean. He's mean to Christians. He's persecuting them. And then he is an encouraging leader. See, God gave him the penchant to be a leader. Paul chose how to use it in the beginning, but then when Jesus appeared to him, he used the same characteristics. He just changed them to use them for Jesus. And that is what God is asking you to do too. He's not asking you to get rid of the pieces that you are, of the pieces of who you are. He is asking you to use them for him. And they will be utilized in a different manner. And that will grow as you grow. In the beginning, it will be hard. In the beginning, it will feel weird. In the beginning, it will be, I don't know, you'll be afraid. But you walk through the fear. You do it afraid. It doesn't matter if you're nervous when you get on here. It doesn't matter if you're nervous when you take that first step. Through the fear is the success. The fear comes because Satan does not want you to have a light. He does not want you to shine bright. He does not want you to bring other people to Christ. He does not. The fear keeps you sitting on the couch, and it keeps you from leading others. It keeps you from affecting others. So going back to that beginning where we were talking about being with people who are not ready to change, your fear keeps you from helping them. Because you are afraid if you step out, if you walk, if you process, if you run through the obstacles, that people will not like you because of that. But what you don't understand is that in the end, people will love you more because they will know Christ. It might take time. It won't be easy. We're all walking through this together. And if anybody ever sugarcoats it to you and tells you it is, you come back and watch this video again. But it's worth it. Every single minute, every single time you say yes, every single time you do what you're told to do, trust your gut, listen to God, walk another step in that path, it's worth it. I love you guys. I'm proud of you. Happy Friday.